Well, good afternoon, everyone. I am Nicole Thornton, your sales manager, trainer, and coach for TCRG Atlanta. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at Your Real Estate Style Pro.
And hey guys, this is Naysha, the coach and trainer for the Realty Group Orlando. Definitely make sure you follow me at the Right Realtor ATL FL.
Let's take a moment to thank our guests today for joining: Tatiana Davis, Brandon Thompson, Monet Long, Brittany Faison, Kanisha Powell, Tabitha Mays, Tanya LaFleur, and Candace. Thank you so much for joining Closing the Gap.
Yes, thank you so much, guys.
Make sure to subscribe to our Closing the Gap channel on YouTube, TCRG Closing the Gap. Tons of valuable information.
Definitely. And if there's ever a chance that you're not able to join us on Wednesday, always make sure that you can go to the Closing Gap YouTube channel and be able to get all the awesome jewels that we done dropped the day before.
Yes.
Before we go ahead and get started into the juices and berries for today, we're going to go ahead and go over our stat highlights. All of our January 2022 new under contracts, our sales for January, it's going to be up to our January 25th update, our TCRG squad Zillow sales. So far we have 21 new transactions equaling $6,178,785. That is absolutely amazing. We are literally starting January off awesome. We have, y'all see it, our very own coach, Nicole Thornton, with 3 new under contract, Deidre Carter, one of our trainers and mentors, 2 new under contract, Bree with 1 under contract, Kanisha with 1, Nikisha Hilton, the Jamaican rock star, and also one of our squad leaders, 3 new under contract, Wanda with 2 under contract, Anetta with 1 under contract, Charisma, another one of our squad leaders with 3 new under contract, Chanel with 1, Henry with 1, and Naysha, that's me, with 1.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Congratulations, everybody. Okay, so guys, January 2022 sales through the 25th. Look at our update. We have closed a total of 15 transactions this month, totaling $4,619,700. And let's give these individuals a whopping round of applause. Deidre, our mentor, yes, coming in at 4 close, 1.2 million. Close on her heels is Charisma with 3 close at $965,000. And then, of course, we have got Nikisha, Jamaican rock star, at 2 close, $760,000. Kiana with 1 close at $638,000. Sharonda, 1 close at $466,000. Brandy Perry, who's one of our squad leaders as well, with 1 close at $215,000. Dina at $186,000. Henry with 1 close at $160,000. And I have my little small deal closed at $40,250.
A deal is a deal though, coach.
Hey, I'll take it every day of the week.
So guys, you see it. We have our 2022 squads, our Zillow calls for this year. We have Brandy squad, which consists of Deidre, Bree, Sinitra, Chanel, Taya, Anetta, and Maddie. We have Charisma squad, which consists of Charisma squad leader, Can, Henry, Alessio, Dominique, myself, and Dina. And then we have Nikisha, the Jamaican rock star, her squad, Tamia, Sharice, Sanika, Wanda, Alexandria, Denisha, and Sean.
And I see those squad leaders all got deals closed up at the top, y'all. I see it. Congratulations, guys. Brandy squad coming in with a total of $611,000. Charisma has $1,042,500, and the Keisha squad has $440,000. Congratulations, guys. What a way to start the year, man. That's awesome. Now to the meat and potatoes, the reason why we are here. Guys, overcoming client objections and the importance of asking open-ended questions. Now, we want to make today's platform very informative, so we're looking for you all to chime in, tell us a little bit about some of the open-ended questions that you ask, and how
if you don't chime in,
objections. We're going to call on you.
That's right. If you don't chime in, we're going to make you chime in.
Yes, we're gonna call on y'all today, so we're going to make sure. And I do want to thank Ronald Hutchison, who is our Zillow partner. He's on the line joining us today. Thank you so much, Ron, for joining. We do appreciate that.
Welcome, guys. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Ron. Hey, Ron.
Kicking butt. I love it. I love it. Rock stars.
Yes.
I see the rock stars at the top.
They doing it, Ron. Okay, Naysha, you want to get started?
Yep, I'll get started. So what are open-ended questions? Open-ended questions uncover what your client truly wants and needs. Encourage a person to give a full, meaningful answer using their own knowledge and feelings. Number two, ask an open-ended questions with the intention to listen and respond thoughtfully allows us to connect and gather information needed from our clients. Open-ended questions also allows us to recommend the best solution possible. Sometimes, guys, when we are dealing with our clients, a lot of times we tend not to ask open-ended questions. We tend always to want to control the conversation and not allow our clients to be able to explain to us what it is they're looking for. So us changing the narrative and asking the open-ended questions allow us to understand what they need, what they want, and how we can best assist them.
I would agree. And keep in mind that when you're interacting with internet buyers, asking open-ended questions is so important. They can't see you. So our goal is to make sure that we can ask these questions so that they start to open up, give us a little bit more information, and we can start to develop that rapport. Very important. Does anybody have anything out there that they would like to add about open-ended questions? Maybe some that they asked to get those prospective clients to warm up a little?
Okay, y'all, we done told y'all.
Start calling on folks,
now. We're gonna start calling on you. We're gonna start calling on you. So
calling on
y'all
get
today.
Ready. Y'all will talk today.
Right.
I have an open-ended question. Why did you decide to move to this area?
Nice. I like that.
Yes.
Why did you decide to move to this area?
Yes.
What is your time frame?
Okay. What is your time frame? I like that one as well.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
One of the things.
I'm sorry. What are your needs and wants? Like, what do you need? Like, would you need in your home?
Like, what are some of the must-haves you're looking for?
Yeah,
Very important.
the must-haves. Yeah,
exactly. Because when we're shopping for them, we need to know exactly what they want. What are the deal breakers, right? What's most important to them in the home that they're seeking to
and the
purchase.
level, like, and what level of importance is it? Because some people like have different levels like of importance, right? Like they must have 2 bathrooms, but they'll be okay with the pool. You know, like that's not like a must-have kind of. So it's always good to know.
Absolutely.
That's right.
I agree, Edwina, because in this environment, you can't get all those must-haves. You might, right? So we need you to prioritize what's important and what's not, so we can incorporate that in our search.
Right.
And Nicole, a good one too is sometimes when you just say, "Tell me about," is a great starter. And whatever you want to say next, tell me about your experience with maybe your last agent, or tell me about the experience of buying your last home, or tell me what you know so far. Like things like that. When you say tell, it's not a one-word response. They normally go into a long dialogue with you, and that opens up the communication with them.
Even when you say, "Tell me about your family," right? Because now you get a chance to kind of get an idea.
I love that. Who is that?
Like
Roxanne. Who said
that.
that? Oh,
Nina in
write that
Orlando.
down.
Yes.
I may have to steal that one, girl.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm still in that one too. Tell me about your family, because then you'd see a big smile on their face and they're like, "Oh, I got this, I got kids."
Right.
That's a great icebreaker. Love it.
Right. And a great way to build a rapport too, really quick.
Yes.
I hope y'all writing this down, because listen, we got Ron on the line. So
yes.
I hope y'all writing this down.
Take advantage of this time we have with Ron today. Okay, so why do we need open-ended questions? What's the purpose of them? To give your clients the opportunity to explain themselves, provide more details, and to convince themselves that our services is right for them, and to gain insight into what motivates our clients so we can provide more value. So like we just talked about, getting those open-ended questions answered gives us an opportunity to find out a little bit more about them, what they're looking for, and developing those questions that we know will give them an opportunity to give us that information. Naysha, anything you want to add?
No, definitely. One of the things, like I said, it says to gain insight on what motivates our clients. It goes along with what Edwina said. Sometimes they're going to have their must-have list and then something that they can live without. So we need to know what it is that's motivating them and what it is that they really need. And one of the things that I always do is I always make sure that if my clients, especially in right now's market, you know, your client may tell you they need A, B, C, and D, right? And that's their must-haves. They have to have it based on their situation. And then you've been looking for a house for 2 months and ain't found nothing. Then all of a sudden that A, B, C, D becomes A, B, C, right? And then A, B, right?
Yeah.
What a lot of times what I do is when I see that my clients are starting to send me stuff that they necessarily would not, you know, wasn't on their initial list, we ain't doing that, because I don't like my clients to settle. Everyone is different, but me, I say, no, we ain't going to see that. We good.
Right.
You know, we're going to continue to look, because to know what motivates them and what they want. When you know what it is that they want and what they need more than what they want, then it allows them to be able to trust you more, you know, so.
And definitely having a conversation about what are the realistic expectations in this market, posing that question later on, not initially, but definitely having those types of conversations to make sure that you and the prospect or the client that you've already gained, you're on the same page, because it's nothing less than your expectations or theirs being different from what you can deliver. So having those discussions and asking those questions is really important. What about you, Annetta, one of our seasoned agents? I'm sorry, Ron, did you want to go ahead?
Yeah, I wanted to add to that, because one of the things that I learned about open-ended questions, there's several levels. And if you want to build rapport fast, how do you get to somebody's heart? And I'm gonna give you a technique that I learned a long time ago. And so basically, so if you're asking a question, let's say, you know, tell me about, you know, what you're looking for. And they say, hey, I'm looking for a nice backyard, right? So I'm going to use that for an example. And then you say, what's important about a nice backyard? So that's level 1, right? So we're trying to get down to level 3. Level 3 is the real answer. Level 1 is normally the surface answer. Well, you know, I like a big backyard. Okay, great. What's important about the backyard? What's important? Well, you know, I want my kids to really have a nice place to run around. And everyone stops there. But if you go one more level, you're going to get the heart and you're going to connect them. And that is, well, why is it important for your kids to have a backyard? Because when I was growing up, I never had it.
Gotcha.
I promise you, if you can do that and go down 3 levels, sometimes it's going to take a little bit of time. You don't do it on all of the questions. You just pick one. Like if somebody says, well, I want a big kitchen. Okay, what's important about a kitchen? Oh, I like the family. I like getting around a big kitchen cooking. Well, what's important about that? Well, you know, have family over. Well, what's important about that? When my grandma was living, she always cooked in the kitchen. When you get that, and so that last one, every time you're meeting with them, we got to get grandma, you know, we got to get that kitchen like your grandma did. Those are those level conversations that I promise you, you'll be like, why this agent always, they're always working with you? Because you know how to connect to the heart, and you know how to ask those questions and get off of the surface level and get down. So remember, don't use it for everything. Just use it one time, get that hook, and use that hook forever.
I love it, Ron. 3 layers.
I just wanted to add to what he said. And like you know, open-ended questions, they're a big part of person-centered therapy and person-centered approach. So it's really very important to ask those questions, like he said. And I love how he told us about the steps going to the 3rd step, because, you know, that really allows them to connect with you on that kind of level. Like now, especially as real estate agents, we don't want them to just think that we care about the property and the commission, you know, so being able for them to see that we're putting them first, and this is really about you first, you know. That's very important.
Preach, Denisha, preach.
Yes, girl.
And psychotherapy. So like that's the approach that I told myself. I'm taking a person-centered approach to real estate. So, you know, this was a very this was like right there with it.
I love it. Person-centered approach. And I'm adding these things in the chat, guys, just so you'll have them. I love it, Denisha. Thank you so much for the feedback. Absolutely. What about you, Annetta? Anything you want to add? I see you looking in the camera, girl. I see you. What you got?
I'm making spaghetti. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Usually I'm in the car. So some of the open-ended questions, like what Ron was saying, like I do try to pull at the strings of their heart, but like really carefully, you know, because you also want to make sure like you don't, some people are very private too. They don't like you digging around too much, you know, especially when you meet them the first time. Those certain questions like I just won't ask the first time. I'll feel them out the first time to see what kind of open-ended questions I can ask them later. But I do ask them questions like, you know, one of the most important questions for me, even when I was looking for a home years ago, was that I was impressed with was just like what's the most important place of your home? Like, where is the most important place of your home? Like right now, like where you live right now, where do you all gather?
Right.
Where are those important conversations, you know? And most of the time people say the kitchen, you know? So a lot of times I'll leave with that. And so it's, you know, I'll ask them like, so is that what's more important for you? Like, what's more important for you? An area for your family to gather together, or an area for you to be alone? And then I kind of know what they're looking for. If they're looking for, they'll tell me automatically if they're looking for an open floor plan or if they're looking for divided rooms, you know what I mean? Because they tell me they like something. When I was looking for a home, I know, you know, I wanted open floor plan because I wanted to see my children at all times. So it kind of like, that kind of opens that up also to kind of know, you know, what floor plan they want too. They may want, you know, someone may say, oh, you know, I have bad knees, and you can just listen to that and know that they need a ranch style home, or they need a, you know, a master on the main. You know, I just put a home under contract, and my clients were like, they were insisting like, oh, you know, we want a 4-bedroom and all the bedrooms upstairs. And the first house we went to, I'm watching the mother walk up the stairs. I'm like, this ain't gonna work, you know? and I wasn't gonna tell her it wasn't gonna work, but I was just like, you know, I just kind of, you know, suggested to her, Molly, like, you know, I think that it would be really easy for you to access the family room, you know, with a master on the main or a ranch. She was like, oh yeah, I love a ranch, you know? And so sometimes you have to suggest those things, even though they have this crazy idea of what they want. I'm like, you about to hit 70 and, you know, you already having problems going up, you know, 12 steps. So those types of, just even not just the questions, just watching them physically, how they function. So
I love it. And so if I had to take anything from the beginning of our discussion today on open-ended questions, it is to ask the questions that will allow them to give us the information that we need to search, right? Building the rapport is another reason why we're asking these open-ended questions. And most importantly is listening, because if we're not listening to the things that they're telling us, we won't pick up on those clues that's really, really, really important.
Or even watching, like Annetta just said, you know, even watching, like Annetta just said, you know, because her doing that, you know, really showed that she cared, you know, because she watched and knew that no, a 2-story ain't about to work.
It ain't gonna work.
You know,
that's right.
Exactly. So that definitely is watching as well. That's important. That was great. I love that.
Yes, I like that. Awesome. Thank you, Annetta. Thank you, Denisha. All right, Josh, next slide.
Okay, when are open-ended questions most useful? Open-ended questions are most important to at every stage of the sales process. During the cold call discussion, open-ended questions can help the salesperson understand what the prospect's current priorities are and focus on them. During the discovery stage, open-ended questions can help uncover important information such as decision-making process and what the buyer needs in order to make a purchase. During later stages, open-ended questions help the prospect and sales team to work together and co-create the right solution. This is a good slide. This is a good slide, you know, and it's true, you know, during a cold call conversation, open-ended questions, right, will help you build rapport, will help you understand what the prospect's current priorities are, just like we just discussed, and focus on them. During discovery stage, it allows you to be able to know, number one, who's the decision maker, because, you know, allow you to understand the decision-making process. And in the later stages, it's also important because, you know, it's right, you know, during they're in different stages of the sales process, it's different stages of levels of negotiation, you know, so having the right conversations with your clients is going to allow you to be able to know, okay, how can we work together to be able to create a right solution for this particular situation? Because sometimes during the sales process, it becomes very stressful and some buyers will shut down. I just had a buyer today that we're supposed to close tomorrow. And she literally just shut all the way down. She was like, you know what, I'm done. My blood pressure's up. I can't do this no more. You know, so I'm serious. I'm like, wait a minute, we already got to clear close. So, like, what's
We
going
need you to
on?
break
Like,
down tomorrow, not today, not today,
right,
tomorrow.
exactly. Wait till you see the closing gift. So,
Right.
you know, but at that point, you know, I had to start having a conversation with her. Okay, well, let's back up. Let's revisit this and start asking her questions so I can understand what is allowing her to feel that way. So then we can be able to create the right solution so we can still get closing table tomorrow. Because I mean, you know.
That's important. And equally, guys, it's really important that you become a trusted advisor for your clients, right? It's great to go out and show them the homes. They're in a lot of ways relying on us and our expertise to guide them through the process. And these open-ended questions help us to understand what's most important to them so we can advise them correctly. I think Nikisha has a question. It's on you, Nikisha. I see your hand raised.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll come back. Maybe she's got something else going on. Any other questions or comments you guys would like to make regarding this slide that we're talking about?
I would add that I think I'm engaging potential clients and talking with them about, you know, what they want. I try to include the other members of their family and like pets and things like that when asking them how they envision, you know, their kids like playing in a yard, or, you know, if they think this would be like a perfect yard for their dog and things like that. And I think including other people, other members of the family kind of helps also.
Yeah.
I like that. Yes. Because if you like myself, your pet is like your, you know, kind of like your ride or die sometimes. So yes, asking those questions, if you know they're pet lovers, is really important. I think was Nikisha chiming in?
Yeah, she said, can.
Okay. Let us know, Nikisha, we can't hear you. Okay, Josh, next slide. So how do we proactively ask these questions? Let's talk about it, guys. Next slide, Josh.
So basically what we want to do at that point is more or less find out from everyone what it is that you do, you know, what it is that you do when it comes to open-ended questions. I know some of us have already chimed in, but again, this is open forum, you know, so help us understand our top producers that's on there on the line. You know, some of our newbies need to know this because it's something that they're struggling with. So, you know, go ahead and chime in and let us know what it is that you're doing to overcome objections. Charisma, what you got for us?
I think she had to drop off the line, Naysha. What about Brandy? Is Brandy on?
Are you guys hearing me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. It's a lot of background noise, Nikisha, but we can hear you. Go ahead. It's muffled. It's muffled. We can't hear you clearly.
Are you hearing me now?
Yes, perfect.
All right, so it's so crazy. I've been reading this book since yesterday. So the title of the book is How I Raised Myself from Failure to Success in Selling. And one of the major points that he spoke of in the book was trying to get to know the client, what the client need, and try to serve the client based on that. So it's so fitting for this whole topic today, and I will always reinforce. I think I did that most of it today, and I'll elaborate more on it when I have my huddle later today with the team. Just try. The main goal is to serve. Try to serve your clients as much as possible by getting to knowing them, connecting with them. So all the questions that will be asked, some of them you will learn them, especially for the newer agents. You will learn them as you progress in your business, because it's not, for me, I don't think it's a one size fit all, because some clients, some questions are just not going to be relevant.
Right.
So you're going to learn them overall as time progresses, but there's some pertinent questions that we have discussed earlier. Another thing that Ron stated last week when we had our meeting, and I want to reinforce this, like try to connect with your client, and the sales, it talk. A lot of us,
Right.
when we're speaking to our client, we put on a whole different tone. Like, keep it real. Like keep it real. Like, for me, most people, when they talk to me, when they connect with me, the first time they know I'm Jamaican. And I'm not trying to be anybody else but who I am. So keep it real. You don't need to be, oh, hey, just keep it real. Keep it authentic, because a lot of times I connect with more people than you will imagine by just my accent. I'm not saying you're going to try to fake an accent, but just keep it real. So that's my little 2 cents for this whole topic today.
Thank you, Nikisha. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So
that-
yes,
that
it is so important. Yes,
sorry.
be yourself, be your authentic self. When you try to be somebody that you're not, sometimes people can see that. They can see right through it. So just be yourself. I think that is so important. And it does allow you to connect with them on a totally different level. So true. Thank you for that. We got a couple of comments. I do want to go through these. Thy only Navia, I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. She says, this is very helpful information. I can see where I was going wrong when talking with clients. Thank you, ma'am. That's the purpose of closing the gap. Wanda says, I agree about keeping it real. And Ron says, real talk. Wanda also says, I keep it real with laughter or jokes. I use honey and child all the time. I love it. Love it. And she says, okay, I use honey and child all the time. Great comments. Absolutely. Make a lot of sense. Anybody else want to chime in?
I'm at work, so I can't talk in front of patients, but I did want to piggyback on what Nikisha was saying. I think sometimes a lot of us as agents try and stay in professional mode all the time, but I think sometimes being transparent with our clients help as well. Like if they're talking to you about, I don't know, their dog is like their kid or something, and Nicole, because you love Tony, if you can identify with them, I think that helps too. If somebody just got married, or and you're a recent and you're a newlywed, maybe share things about yourself too, so they can feel a little connected with you in their journey, or share experiences. Like I'm working with someone right now, and they wanted to terminate, and they felt like, oh my God, I know you're not going to want to work with us anymore, and I'm so sorry. And I'm like, no, when I was looking for a house my first time, I went through 3 houses before I found the right one. So if you're not feeling like, I tell everybody, a house is the most expensive investment that you will make. So if you're not feeling confident and happy when you turn that car in that driveway, then it's not the house for you. And so but they was just so nervous to even tell me, like, I don't know if it's a good fit. We drove back over there, and some questionable people outside, and I was just like, oh, you don't have to live with Pookie and them if you don't want to. It's okay. And I just tried to connect with them and just say, listen, I did the same thing when I was, because I did. And so I think sometimes sharing personal experiences with your clients help you to bond with them as well. The one I closed on last Friday, she was moving because of a divorce. She didn't want to sell her house. She had to sell her house. And so, it was an emotional experience for her. I went through the same thing 5 years ago. So I shared that with her. So it connected us. Guess what? Her mom texted me this morning, I'm moving to Atlanta. I would love for you to be my realtor. Now I have family for life. You know what I mean? And so I think sometimes when you're transparent with your clients, that helps that bond as well. So don't just listen to them talk, but also share a little bit about you, so they can feel connected with you too.
Yeah. I do agree. Thanks for that, Charisma. It definitely gives you the opportunity to connect on a different level, a more personable level. Because the goal is that they do become like family to you. You do have that connection where you're getting referrals from them, and you're engaging on other topics. Everybody know I have a little Yorkie poodle. His name is Tony. He weighs 5 pounds, and he goes with me on a lot of tours, and people fall in love with him. But it's who I am, and so it allows me to connect when people see him. And we just start having different conversations. So it definitely means a lot when you open up and you're yourself, and you can connect with them on a personal level. Good stuff. Coach, you got anything else you want to add?
Nope, I agree 100%. I mean, I know I have a couple clients that, first of all, you have to be, sometimes you got to be careful, because some situations people don't want to discuss, like in my situation, but there's a lot of times that it takes a lot for me to connect when someone, I had a client, I'll just say it, that was discussing the reason why that she was moving, you know, because her son had passed and, you know, she can't be inside of the home. You see what I'm saying? You know, well, those of you that know, my son, you know, it's been almost 1.5 years since my son has passed away. And so that was tough for me. You know, I was like, Naysha, do I say it? Do I say it? Do I say it? You know, so I had to battle myself with doing it. But, you know, once I did that and became transparent in that place, it opened up so much more. That trust increased because now we can relate, you know, on a whole nother level, you know, but I agree 100% what Charisma said. You have to be transparent, you know, with your clients, because you don't never know what is going to, you know, click for them and allow them to 100% connect with you. I have another client that we both Kojic, you know, so they were like, they're minister of music at William Murphy's church in Decatur. So we go and we sing, and he was like, wait a minute, you Kojic? Yeah, I'm coaching. Oh, snap. You know, so it's like, it's another bond. So you never know what's going to connect you with your clients. So it's so important. Take off the professional hat, you know, and just kind of be transparent with your clients so they can get to know who you are. Now, and remember this, what we're saying right now is the same exact thing when it comes to social media and when it comes to branding yourself on social media. People got to see, I'm sorry, I'm going to the left, but I got to say this. People got to see all different aspects of you. You know, if all they see is professional, and they don't know who you are, it's harder for them to connect with you because they don't know who you are. So make sure you're also switching up and being transparent, you know, so they know, oh, she's a real estate.
She's a real person.
She's a real person. Yeah, she's a real person.
She's a real person. Like, what do you have in common? And a lot of times people can connect with you on social media, to your point, because they see other sides of you. A couple more comments that I do want to read from the chat. Sharice, thank you. She says, we love Tony. Yes, that's my little baby. And Wanda says, I can relate and open up about COVID and her son. And Thigh Only Navia says she definitely can relate. She misses her son. So my heart goes out to you guys. Yeah, absolutely. All right, Josh, next slide.
11 common objections.
These are good, guys.
Yeah, we're gonna get into
now. Now we're into the objections.
Right. So you have a client that says, I don't need your service. My friend or relative is an agent. We get that all the time, right? So a lot of people know someone in real estate. So here's a quick way to offer an alternative value. One of the things that you can say is, that's great to hear. Are you comfortable with sharing your personal information with your friend? As you know, the home buying and selling process, in the home buying and selling process, all of your financial data is front and center. I know I wouldn't want my friend to know that much about me. Are you sure you want your friend to know your financial business? So now the way this is formed, I probably would switch it around. You see what I'm saying? To allow it to come across a lot smoother than how this is being stated. But it's true. You know, a lot of times people don't want to deal. I have a client right now, I have a listing that's about to come on the market in February, and she has a friend that's an agent, and her friend got upset because she was like, yo, you didn't use me, you know, but she didn't want to use her because that's too close. It's too close for comfort. You know, it's something that you just want to keep to yourself. So I totally understand with this, and this is definitely a lot of objections. We get a lot of these objections. So this definitely is a great way to be able to help pivot.
And guys, I had this situation where I met someone on social media. Her sister was an agent, and she ended up deciding that she wanted to work with me. I would also recommend that you allow who you are to shine. What do you have to offer? What are you bringing to the table? We go back to being very proactive. If you're on the selling side, making sure that you have that comparative market analysis complete, show them what it's going to look like if you're listing their property, or if you're on the sales side, finding properties comparable to what they want to see and allowing who you are to shine, making sure that you don't focus and make negative comments about friends or family. I don't know that would go over too well. So allowing them to see what you can do for them and what you bring to the table, that's what we want to see. That's what we want to focus on, because those things hopefully will put you in a position to win their business.
And I actually have a client that I'm working with now that initially it was, they were buying a house, and in the conversation, I found out that they need to sell their house as well, but they were going to use a friend of theirs to sell their house. But what I did is I continued to do what I do. That's all I did. I can continue to do what I do, and because of that reason, the wife had called me. She said, Naysha, we're probably just going to go ahead and just use you to list the house as well. So I was like, okay, let's go. What time I need to get this photographer over there?
Right?
Like, let's do this. Like, you ain't got to tell me.
And then but a word.
Exactly. So it's like, when you allow yourself to shine, a lot of times, they will end up wanting to go with you anyways. And that's the situation that happened with me.
Absolutely. What about some of our agents out there? Have you gotten this question before? How did you handle this? How did you overcome this objection? Anybody?
I know everybody on this.
I know y'all done
had this question.
Naysha, say the question one more time.
So the question is, this is an objection. I don't need your service. My friend is an agent. My friend or relative is an agent. So how are you overcoming that objection?
Yeah, so like I have family that are agents. And so it's.
So how do you overcome that, Annetta?
So because I'll give you an example. I had a listing in Lawrenceville. It was my first listing ever. And it was like her, people like my play cousin or whatever. That's what she kept calling her cousin. They weren't related, but they grew up together. And she was supposed to list with that person. And she called someone else and was like, someone else from the church, and was like, hey, can you come list my house? Because, whatever. So anyways, that person lost their license. So they called me. They're like, oh, I know somebody perfect. So when I went over there, she kept giving me that excuse. Well, I just wanted to talk to someone else to see if she was, doing a good job. Because I don't know, sometimes, people just be trying to tell you stuff. And I know how long she's been in the game and blah, blah, blah. And so by the end of it, she was like, yeah, so I'll let you know, but I don't want to hurt her feelings. I said, if you call me here, you already don't trust her. I said, how you're going to trust? Now,
that's being transparent.
That's transparent.
That's being transparent.
That means that's what I want to say. I said it in a nice way. Don't let, I didn't say it all aggressively, but I said, I told her, I said, listen, trust is a big thing, because you're going to be calling me when you're mad. You're going to be calling me when somebody done came in here and probably took something out your house, because that can happen sometimes. You're going to call me if the inspection come back and the seller wants 17,000 things done. You're going to call me if the appraisal go low. Like, what is going to be your relationship with your cousin if she doesn't want to negotiate those things for you?
Good point.
I think you should, and we had an open conversation, an honest conversation about just, preserving your relationship with your family.
I like that.
That's good.
And we had that conversation because I told her, listen, sometimes business can ruin relationships. Right. So, you have to think about that first. And she was like, you're right. I love her. And I think that if this went south, God probably would never talk to her again. And she used me. That was my first listing.
Wow. I like that. Preserving the relationship. I like that. I like that. Okay, Josh, next slide. I'm okay right now. I'm renting a nice place that I like. This is a golden opportunity to show them a financial opportunity in owning. Why pay someone else's mortgage when you can pay yours, build equity, and get more house for less monthly? Anybody experienced this question before?
I literally just had this conversation today. Had this conversation today. Yes. And she was just like, she didn't qualify for a mortgage. So now she's, in her feelings and discouraged. And I'm like, listen, we can go the lease to own route. It's okay. It's a couple of programs you can just lease to own. And she's like, well, aren't they higher? I'll be spending more money. And I was like, sweetie, you're renting right now. So you're spending $2,100 for an apartment. So you're not getting any of that back. So yes, it'll be a little bit more expensive to lease to own, but at least you're leasing to own the home that you picked out, that you love, that you want. And you don't have to lease it indefinitely. So it's going to cost you a little bit more, but in the end, you'll end up owning it. Right now, at the end of the year, you can multiply 2,100 times 12, and there's just money out the door. But if you do the lease to own program, it'll be a little bit more. Yes, you're right, because other people was in her ear, and I was like, but you'll end up owning it. So you're putting money into something you'll eventually own versus putting money for a 2-bedroom apartment. For $2,100, we can find you a nice home. Guess what? We got her qualified through 2 lease to own. That's her texting me right now. We got her qualified with 2 lease to own companies, and so we'll go out looking tomorrow. And so I literally just had that. So and then it's a tax write-off. I use that for everything, you know. Okay, so you're paying all this money for rent, you don't have anything to show for it. So not only will you end up owning what you're renting through a lease to own purchase if you can't qualify, because some people are renting because they can't qualify, so then they will be discouraged, but that's okay. We have an alternative for that, and then you can write it off on your you know, you have a tax write-off. You'll be owning something, and the joy from coming from being a homeowner is so much more. So that's the tech that I use, and I'm really getting ready to start focusing. I ain't gonna say nothing else.
I love it, Charisma. Adding value, right? Yeah. What you just did for that client is something that she's going to remember. You added value. And those lease purchase programs like Divvy, Dream America, we've got another one at the Nicole Realty Group, which we'll be introducing soon, which is a partnership with a company by the name of Landis, doing something very similar to Divvy and Dream America. But these are great resources that we can use to add value. We're showing this individual that, hey, if you don't want to rent, we've got some options in place that are going to allow you, put you in a position when you're ready so that you can purchase that home. We got Wanda mentioned Divvy and Dream America. Yes, I'm sorry. Who's it? Nikisha?
Yeah, I wanted to add something about the objection previously with having another realtor. So one thing I've said it in the past, like you're not attached to me or attached to any other agent. So as much as you would like commitment, but if I don't like working with you, I can fire you. If you don't like working with me, you can fire me. So give me a chance to prove what I can do for you. While if you want to still consider your friend or consider your family member, we can still work with that. But 99.9% of the time, I always close that deal because I always show them what I can offer. I find out what they need and I serve them. I hustle. I show them that, listen, because most times the friends or the family member take them for granted. So they're not really showing them any properties. They're not showing up to really satisfy the client. So I always close because I focus in on that client and ensure that I go above and beyond what they ask or desire. That's how I overcome some of the objections.
Thank you, Nikisha.
I hope y'all hear that, because that's coming from one of the top sales people of
booyah.
Group. Y'all better get them notes. Jewels. Listen, she's very what's the word I'm trying to use? She doesn't speak highly of herself, and that's fine because we'll do it for her. So y'all better listen, okay?
Wanda says she's a killer, right?
Right, exactly.
And another one, thank you, Wanda, for mentioning Divvy, Dream America, Home Partners. And like I said, in a great way. Yes, she's a killer in a great way. Absolutely. Right. And then, of course, we will have a new partner coming on board with us, which is Landis. Anissa, who is a new agent recently joining the Nicole Realty Group, has placed a comment in the chat, and she says, since we went COVID, my 2 cents. Kojic. My 2 cents, having the ability to be transparent and intuitive, guided by the spirit. If you sense something is off in order to speak to the client's unspoken needs, thoughts, fears, or concerns, it's all in discerning, recognizing behavior as well. For example, I am sensing you have some concerns. Is everything okay? Here is your way to connect based on your experiences as well. Love it.
Love it.
Love it. Absolutely. Thank you, Anissa. Great point. All right, Josh, next slide.
I am 6 months to a year out from buying, or I'm just looking right now. Y'all know we get this all the time too. Everyone loves to window shop, but it's a good time to explore the right time to buy. Some of the things that you can say is, just out of curiosity, what is the specific date of that? I'm sorry, what is the specifics of that date? If we could get you approved for a loan, get you in house today and show you how to save thousands, would that be of interest to you? Even though their timeline may be far out, they've still shown interest in real estate. See if you can gather their reasons of searching today. I love looking at homes too. It's why I got into the business. What made you decide to look at homes today? And then go ahead, if it was me, I would stop right there and allow them to speak, because that right there, that's that open-ended question, and it's going to allow you to understand, number one, why they're just trying to window shop, so then what kind of objection you need to overcome based on what they say right there.
Because remember, sometimes, excuse me, I had a situation where a young lady thought she couldn't get out of her lease. Did you know that sometimes property management and leasing companies will allow you to terminate your lease if you can show them you're buying a home? So fully understanding what the reasoning is behind why they wanted to wait is really important. Annette has a question. Go ahead, Coach.
No, what I was going to say is, and a lot of times we know that a lot of people really don't know that they can buy. I tell people, listen, buying a house is easier than buying a car. Let's go. I mean, what we doing? And I always believe in giving my clients a roadmap. If I can't get you there in 30 days, don't worry about it. I got an awesome lender that I work with, and we're going to get you a roadmap to get you to the closing table. And what that does is it builds value in you as well, right? Because they know that you don't just care about the right now, sale. You might not be ready to purchase right now, but you're going to go ahead and help them and guide them to get them to the closing table. So it shows you that you care.
Absolutely. I agree. I mean, I think it's really important, when they start saying the 6 months to the year, find out what's the reasoning behind it. Sometimes it's they don't have the down payment saved. Well, maybe we can offer an alternative. Maybe they can qualify for down payment assistance. Sometimes there are some credit challenges they may need to overcome. Have a great resource that can assist them with credit repair. Because again, now you are the advisor. You are helping to provide solutions and helping them overcome some of the challenges that they think they may have, which really aren't any challenges for us because we're the expert. We may not know it all, but we know somebody that can help us figure it out.
And also sometimes when you get this objection, sometimes it's good to ask them what it is they're looking for, because if they're looking for new construction and they want to be in something that's 6 months to a year, we need to get on the ball now. Because right now, a lot of homes are taking 6 months to a year to build anyways. So it's important to know what they're looking at doing. And if you can flip them over to new construction to be able to solidify that contract, then do it.
I agree. Good stuff. Josh, next slide. This is my first time buying a home. I'm a little nervous. For anyone buying their first home, it can be nerve-wracking. Help put them at ease. Did you know the real estate has outperformed the stock market in the past 3 years? The wealthiest people in the world own real estate. In just the past year, home prices have gone up over 3%. That means if you bought a house today for $300,000 in 1 year, you would have over $9,000 in equity. So I think, a lot of individuals are concerned with the prices of homes today. They're concerned with making sure that they don't overspend for the home. And it's our job to ease their minds. And we can do that in a whole lot of different ways, making sure that they understand values of homes typically don't depreciate unless there are short sales or foreclosures in that area. And so the improvements that they may or may not make to their home is going to continue to increase the value. It's going to go up. It's not going to go down. And so providing them with that reassurance and walking them through the home buying process is really important.
And then again, when it comes to new construction, when it comes to, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Again, when it comes to new construction, that's big right now because I had a client that went under contract in the summer of 2021, was scheduled to close in December. And by the time he closed, he was walking into his closing with $63,000 in equity.
Ooh.
In equity. In equity. And I can tell you, he walked away from the house. Yeah. Anyways, but listen, but for real, it blew my mind. It blew my mind. Yeah, it did. It blew my mind. But I'm literally like at the tail end. But you know, again, it goes to what, you know, is saying in here in regards to $9,000 in equity. A lot of times, if you're going new construction, you go into contract at one price. You know, some builders, they keep that price. So as materials are going up and then the economy is changing, by the time it's time for you to close, you walking in with equity. I mean, $63,000 in equity.
That's amazing.
Right.
Wow. Wow. Talk about a buyer taking advantage of this market instead of a seller.
Right. Exactly.
Next slide, Josh.
Okay, my credit is bad, so I'm just daydreaming right now. This is a great opportunity to offer financial advice and that you can reshape their lives. It's great to daydream, and I encourage you to continue looking on our site. Have you talked to a credit repair company? Many times you can make a couple of tweaks that can bump your score dramatically. Let me schedule some time for you to speak with one of our top agents. This is the thing, and this is what I love, because again, I never tell my clients no. I never tell them no. I always create a roadmap for them, you know, because I've had clients where I've created the roadmap for, and they come to me 2 months later and they're like, Naysha, I'm ready. I'm like, really? Let's go, right? You know, because when they're serious, then they take what you're saying or what the roadmap the lender has created for them, they take that serious and then they'll come back. So never shy away from the clients that says this, my credit is bad, I'm just daydreaming right now. You know, creating a roadmap from them, that shows them that you care about them. You know, check in with them. Some agents have a whole entire credit repair business on the side to help to be able to navigate their clients, you know, journey. You know, so, and that might be something that, you know, one of y'all would like to do. But for me, I never tell them no. I always create the roadmap. I always get my lender on the phone, create the roadmap for them, and show them what it's going to take to get them to the closing table. And then that gives them a goal to be, I just need to do this. I just need to take myself to be an authorized user, drop this credit card down $300, you know, pay this collection, and I'm going to go up 25 points. What?
And then I can get my house? Yes.
Right.
Exactly.
No.
Or to your point, if there's certain things they need to do, developing that roadmap and a plan for them still puts us in a good position, because when they're ready, they're going to remember you're the one that gave them the advice, referred them to a source that could help them accomplish the ultimate goal, and that's to buy a house.
Exactly. Or this is also another way to flip them, you know, to lease option. It's another way. I had a client who was supposed to go new construction, and some situations happened. Initially, he was pre-qualified. Then as time progressed on, he couldn't get, they could not approve him, and they was distraught. They were absolutely distraught. They was living inside of a 1-bedroom house with 4 children in there. 1-bedroom apartment, 4 children in Buckhead. And I flipped them over to, I said, no, we're not giving up yet. I got this. Got them on lease option. They got in a beautiful house over in Lawrenceville with a putting green. You know, like they're just so happy. So always know that just because they say my credit is bad, we have so many options out there for them. You know, just look at, this is building your pipeline.
Yep.
It's building your pipeline.
Absolutely. You'll be amazed. Connected them with the credit repair specialist, or telling them some, like Naysha said, tips and tricks that they can do to improve the score. You'll be amazed at how they will remember that, and that builds your pipeline, and you'll start getting additional referrals as well. Charisma says, you better speak, Naysha. I've closed so many people who wasn't ready initially. They followed the plan and are now homeowners. And that's the ultimate goal, guys. All right, Josh, next slide.
Nicole, quick thing before you move on. One thing that I said to my clients when they are in a situation like that, I said to them, let me get you connected with my lender, because most time what I've found with my other buyers is they think they need to either pay off a credit card, need to do this or do that. And then when they get time to buy the house, what they were doing didn't help their credit. So let me you connected with the lender so he can guide you too, because he's a financial advisor. So I can advise you on what to do, some of the things to do, but it's better to get with the lender who's gonna be the one to give you the mortgage, so that when it's time for you to actually purchase, you have all your ducks in a row. Everything is set, instead of you doing it your way or what your family members said should be done.
Right,
Exactly.
because a lot
Sticking
of
to the
people
facts.
think, that their credit has to be sparkling clean, everything, they can't have nothing on it, you know, and you paying this and paying this and paying that, and it ain't helping you at all. So definitely, I agree, definitely 100%, Nikisha.
Yes, Nikisha, great point. Thank you. I'm just looking on behalf of a friend or family member. Let them know you can be an extension of help. That is great that you are looking out for your family. It shows you want the best for them. Fortunately for you, you came to our website. We are ranked in the top 1% of agents in the country. If you'd like, I can have one of our top agents reach out to your friend or family and send them some helpful information that can save them thousands on purchasing a new home, and why it's so important to pick the right buyer's agent. Anybody want to elaborate on this one?
Nobody?
I think it's kind of self-explanatory, right? You're looking for a friend, you want to help them out, but making sure that not only can we help the friend or family member, we're going to make them a client too.
Right.
And sell yourself. That's what it's all about. Not overselling, but being confident in who you are, the skills that you have, what you bring to the table, and making sure that you can assist them with the buying or the selling of a home.
One question I will ask with that is, can I get connected with your friend directly?
I like that. I like that, Nikisha. I like it. That's why she's the Jamaican rock star. Next slide, Josh. Oh.
I have an agent already. Check to see if they already have a buyer's agreement. If they haven't committed to one yet, there's an opportunity for you. That's great that you have an agent. Can you share their name so I can send them the properties that you've been looking at? 9 times out of 10, they really don't have an agent. Based on their responses, you can address them like so. If they have a name, fantastic. I will send this to Nicole, but it concerns me that you don't have a written agreement. If they don't have a name, you know they're not telling the truth. Continue as though they don't have an agent.
Anybody? This one, man, woo! Ooh.
Michael said something last year that I learned from. If it's a case that they called in through Zillow or online, any platform, and they said, oh, I have an agent already. He said what he told them was like, all right, bring your agent along, and I'll show you both the property.
Right.
So both them, but clearly, if you had an agent, your agent would be showing you the property.
Right.
So bring your agent along. So that's a way for them to get started. So I'm like, oh, okay, all right, I'll come along.
And here's the reality: we don't care that they have an agent, because when we meet them in person, we're going to sell them on who we are, what we have to offer them, what we can do for them. It's just like when they say they have a friend or a family member that's an agent. We don't care about that either. We're not focusing on. We're focusing on what we can do for them. Tell them, come on. The more the merrier.
Right. Family.
9 times out of 10, they ain't coming. Okay, Josh, next slide. So I think for time's sake, guys, I never registered on your website. Be understanding that there is some confusion. It's always, I have to minimize this. It's always good to double check and see if another family member registered with their contact info. I'm sorry, perhaps your husband, wife registered with your information. Are you looking for a home in blank? Any thoughts on that? I think the key is definitely to be understanding. A lot of times, the comment is, I've never registered on your website. Be understanding, show a little bit of empathy, and then just try to ask some questions that will allow them to start talking.
Right.
Coach, anything you want to add?
I agree.
Okay. Next slide, Josh.
Have you been you have been contacting me way too much. Given a lead, Given the lead, the 10 days of pain can be brutal and annoying. Again, acknowledge their issues and offer a reason plus solution. First, let me apologize. We are in a fast-paced market right now, and I want to make sure that you don't miss out on any opportunities that I don't miss out on any opportunities to help potential clients. How often would you like to be updated? You know, that's true. You know, some of us we can poke the bear. You know, we can continue to contact them, but listen, the way I look at it, I'm sorry. Until they say stop calling me, or until they say take me off the drip campaign, you're gonna still see my face. You are.
Yep.
You know, so that's just how I do it. You know, what about you, Coach?
Yeah, I agree. And try different techniques. Like if you started out calling them in the morning, maybe switch it up to the afternoon or around lunchtime. Send a text message or send an email. You know, put them on the drip campaign. If you know things that are important to them, like the school system, maybe send them an article talking about where the school. I had a Zillow call the other day. Well, what was most important to him was being in Henry County and his children going to high school. Dutchtown is a really good school. So I sent him some information. We're going out touring Saturday. So just try to find different ways that you can connect with them if this becomes a question, so that they see you're adding value and not just sending them a message about a house per se. Because if you see that's not working, try to see how you can connect with them on a different level.
Exactly.
Next slide, Josh. I'm busy right now. I'll call you back. Try to get a small commitment here. Ask if they can answer 4 quick questions in less than 2 minutes. This will set you up for further conversations later when you can offer more detailed help. I understand. If I can just ask you 4 quick questions, I can have you off the phone in less than 2 minutes. Would that work? How long have you been looking? What time is best to call you back? Are you working with an agent at the moment? And what is your buying timeline? Except for number 3, we don't ever ask them, are they working with an agent? We don't care.
We don't care.
We don't care about that. Our job is to build rapport, get them in the car, and find them a house. That's it. We don't care if they have an agent. What about you, Coach? Anything?
I agree. We definitely don't care if they have an agent, because we are definitely taught that. I know me, if I get you in front of me, it's a wrap. And you gotta have that confidence too. You know, you have to have that confidence in yourself that once they meet you, they ain't never going back to nobody. Right.
It's the Nicole Lynn experience is what I say.
Yeah, but hey guys, those are great ones. Can I add one in there as well?
Absolutely.
Of course.
So one of the biggest things on the phone when you're talking to someone is taking control. And subconsciously, if someone says, you know, I'm busy right now, I'll call you back. You say, listen, okay, that's fine. Go grab a pen. I want you to write this down real quick. I don't care whatever you want them to write down, but having them go find a pen to write it down is taking back control. Subconsciously, when you do that, you're taking back control of the conversation. So that is a psychology technique that I learned a long time ago. And that always works, because again, they're running around the house, or they're trying to figure out, and I don't care what they write it on or what you're asking them to write down. The goal is to get them to do what you're asking them to do.
I love it, Ron. Thank you. Love it. Okay. Next slide, Josh.
Walking away with a no thanks. Hearing the word no is never easy, and getting rejected can easily put you in a dark mode. So it's worth saying, don't give up. Perseverance requires maintenance in real estate. If you start feeling tilted, then like you're getting more frustrated, take a break, do something non-work related. You know, and that's true. A lot of times, you know, even in this time that we're in right now, you know, we have to learn to be able to self-motivate ourselves and do what we need to do to keep ourselves focused, because right now we're getting more no's than we're getting yeses, even with contracts that we're submitting, you know, with meeting new clients, you know, sometimes our energy just ain't going to mix with someone else, you know, so it's like, you have to make sure that it's okay. The way I look at it is, give me a no, I'm closer to my yes.
Yep, I might get 10 no's before I get that one yes.
Right,
That's okay,
exactly.
right? I've mastered some different techniques through those 10 no's. It's you know, just improving my skills. So I'm okay with the no's, because when I get that one yes, I'm really motivated then. I'm ready to go. I got that one yes. Okay, I can dive deeper and do 10 more to get another yes.
And do something non-work related, which is so important because we're so, and this is me. Nicole, everyone knows, like, I don't do anything. I don't. I'm always home, either the show or I'm working. I'm always home. So it's self-care. I see Naysha do it all the time, on social media. She's going to get a massage, she's going to get her facials. And I'm like, Lord, I need to do the same thing, because it's about self-care. And when you take time to be able to step away from everything and do something non-work related, it allows you to be able to focus a little bit more, and then be able to put things back into perspective and bring your spirits back up and be ready to go tackle once again.
I love it. Okay, Latoya has a question.
Yeah, I just had a situation today, a Zillow call with a lead, and pretty much she was like, well, I don't need a realtor. I just want to go see the property. So can I just call whoever's on the, the list agent or whoever it was? So that was the first. I never got that before. So I said, simply, well, it doesn't, really work that way. I'm the realtor, and I can assist you in getting in to see the property. That's my job, to contact and, initiate that contact to get you in to see the property. So has anybody else ever had that?
I have. This is Chanel. I always remind, especially buyers, that it costs them nothing. It doesn't cost them anything to work with a real estate professional. And when you come from the perspective or the position as an advisor, as someone who is keen and knowledgeable of the industry, you're a professional in the real estate industry, and it costs them nothing. It doesn't cost them anything to work with you. And when they're reminded that, oh, it's not costing me anything, or, I don't have to pay, or, I just remind them, and then when you follow up with tips or knowledge of the industry, of the market, or anything that they're particularly, an area that they're particularly looking for, it kind of will build the trust that they, should have in you as their agent.
Okay.
That's definitely true, Chanel, because to be honest with you, a lot of buyers think that they have to pay you. A lot of buyers doesn't realize that the seller is the one that pays a commission, so a lot of times that can be a reason why, you got that, because they're like, I don't want to pay an agent, so it's important to, just like Chanel said, go ahead and just have that conversation with them and still take them to see the property, because it doesn't cost them anything to be able to use you as their agent.
Mm-hmm. And also remind them that you're working directly with the seller. We don't like to indicate that we're contacting the listing agent, because that's what differentiates us, is we have the ability to connect directly with the seller and get more valuable information that can help them in purchasing the home.
Yes.
Great stuff. Any other questions, Latoya?
No, thank you.
Hope that was helpful.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Well, guys, now is your chance. We are wrapping up this Closing the Gap. Any questions?
I have something.
Yes, ma'am.
So they were talking about that this year, that there was going to be the option where sellers are not going to have to be responsible for paying buyers' agents commission. And being a newer agent, that was something that it was concerning, I guess, because I don't know how that would work. Because it's different when you have a lot of experience and you can sell your experience as why you are deserving of your fee, because then wouldn't I have to charge my client then as a buyer's agent if a seller is not going to pay me?
Yes.
Well, I just had a situation where the listing that my client was interested in, the seller was only paying a 2% commission on it. By this time I built the rapport, with my client enough, and my client was okay with, paying that other 1%, because, I built that value in it. So it's going to be a tough transition. It is, But when you build your value to your client and your client knows that, you know, what you've done for them, you know, and they wouldn't be in the position they're at right now if it wasn't for you and how you guided them and, you know, was there for them throughout the whole process, you know, you should, it will be easier. But I honestly don't think, I don't know, Coach, you tell me what you think. I honestly don't think that it's going to go away where the seller's not going to pay no commission. They're going to pay some. I don't think they might not pay all 3. We might not see 3% on every listing anymore, you know?
Mm-hmm. And I'm seeing it less, you know, to be honest with you. I do a lot of listings and I get it where the sellers don't want to pay the 6%. You know, they may only want to pay 5%. But, you know, what it also goes back to is our services aren't free. And, you know, we shouldn't give the perception that we're not going to be compensated, right? And so there's a cost associated with our level of expertise and what we are able to provide to both buyers and sellers. And that's what we have to sell our clients on, is that they're working with an individual, an advisor that's going to help them with every step of the process. And it's up to us to make sure that we convey that in such a way and not only tell them that, but we show them. And as Naysha said, when we show them the value that we bring to them and what we have to offer, I don't really know many instances where a buyer is going to say, oh, no, I don't want to do that. And if they do, then ultimately you have to make the decision as the agent if you're willing to take that lower commission. Does that answer your question, Sharice?
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome. Any other questions? All right. Was there another slide, Josh? Is that it?
I think that's it.
That's it. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining this week's Closing the Gap. Anissa says, wow, what an awesome first session as a new agent. Topic spot on. Thank you, Anissa. Yeah. And guys, make sure that you are following us on TCRG Closing the Gap and join us next week. Thank you. Denisha says this was great. Thank you guys for chiming in. Coach, any last minute remarks?
Don't forget, Closing the Gap live.
I was gonna say that. Go ahead, Ron.
Go ahead.
Look, you know what I'm saying? So Closing the Gap Live Atlanta is going to be an amazing event. You do not want to miss this event. You're talking about, we're building one of the largest Black-owned real estate training and developing event in the country. And so we're working on a 20-city tour. We got national sponsors that are looking to kind of work with us. But for you, the agent, what do you get out of it? Number one, how to be a top agent. So we got 4 sessions, you know, how to go from 0 to 10 million. And so the thing is that most people look at the end result. We're going to teach you the step-by-step processes. If you want to be successful, look at the processes that people, when they wake up in the morning till they go to bed and put their head on the pillow, I want to know how you grind, like what step 1, step 2, step 3, like think of a making a cake, a box or a recipe. You know, you got 3 eggs, you got to put this much water and this much butter, and then boom, you got to put the oven at this. Like, what is your steps? And then we got the second level of panel guests where we are going to talk about, you know, how to grow a team. If you're looking to kind of, you know, get to the level where grow a team, or you want to be a team leader, you know, what are some of the processes you got to do? You know, how do you lead a team? How do we make sure that I motivate the team? What systems do I need to put in place? Do I need admins? I need ISAs, those things. And then you got the big dogs. You want to be a broker, you want to go to the next level. You know, we have Valen that's going to be on the panel. We got Sherelle from, you know, Selling Tampa that's going to be on the panel. We got Cherie from Village Mortgage, who has 5 offices in 5 states, 350 agents, 150 million in sales. We got the rock stars there. And so if you want to be a rock star, you want to learn how to grow this business, you got to be around those people who are doing it. So Closing the Gap is the amazing, off the chain. So guys, get your tickets, make sure you get there.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it directly from Ron. You don't want to miss this Closing the Gap. Get your tickets, make sure you are in the building, and we hope to see you there. With that being said, we will see you next week on Closing the Gap. Bye.
Bye,
Thanks,
y'all.
guys.